Shoots and Ladders, episode number 6, Money in the Bank recap. Initial thoughts, initial reactions. What do you think?
It was a hell of a main event. A lot of positives, a lot of not necessarily negatives, but a lot of opinions.
I agree
These
with
storylines and where things are going, and if they used this PLE efficiently.
Let's start off with the men's Money in the Bank. What did you think? Actually, let's play this one a little bit differently. So, as far as biggest pops, I would say it was Jey Uso and LA Knight, right?
Yeah, I feel like Jay always gets a great pop just because he has a great entrance and he gets that crowd reaction every time. LA Knight is always going to be a favorite. He's an underdog. Even Drew.
No, absolutely. And I gotta be honest, Andrade was he was just there. It was almost like he wasn't there, to be completely honest with you. I think he was just sort of a filler guy. We kind of knew that going in. I mean, wrestling fans in general like surprises. I think everyone realistically knew he wasn't going to win. Jay's entrance was legendary. I love it. I love the fact that they got the crowd into it. Mm-hmm. I called this from the get-go. I knew they were going to have a spot with the Yeet versus Yay, which I loved. And again, LA Knight gets a huge pop. I think deep down we didn't know he was going to win. I was hoping that they were going to give us a surprise and have him win. I think the crowd would have exploded, whether him or Jay won. They went Chalk. They went Drew.
I agree. We already knew who was going to win from the top. I feel like the rest of the guys were fillers. I'm glad Drew won. I know we will eventually get to the remainder of that story later on in the next match. But I did like the overall match. I love the bumps that they take off of these ladders. 100%. They are, I know they're planned. I know they're bracing for it, but every single time when they fall and their back hits and they go through tables, they're flying like 10, 15, 20 feet onto their backs. I'm like, oh, every time.
What about the spot? What about the bump that Chad Gable took? That was intense.
That was pretty good.
Yeah. And I mean, again, Chad Gable's another guy that I think we all realistically knew he wasn't going to win. He was kind of a filler guy too. He gave it his all. So I like it. I like Andrade as well. I think he gave it his all. Every man gave it his all. Every man gave it their all in this match. They took a lot of punishment. I'm going to give this match overall. I'd give it an A. I mean, regardless. Even though it's chalk, I'd give it an A.
I'm going to give it an A just because we called it. We already knew what was going to happen, but I felt like everything flowed great. Everyone had their own spot, and it's the bumps. I love them because it's just, that hurts. And they just take it so well. And I felt like it flew by. Like, I remember texting you saying, is it me or is this just flying by? So that means that it was that good. And I was, that entertained. So it was great. I liked it.
Absolutely. And the way you know that you're watching something great, whether it's a television show or even wrestling, if a match, for example, takes 25 minutes and it feels like it took 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. And that's what this was. Okay, so now let's go to the next match with Bron Breakker and Sami Zayn. I love this match.
I did too. I loved it. I love Bron Breakker, and I really, really thought he had it. And I was like, he's carrying this match. So athletic. That Frankensteiner.
Yeah.
And then when he snuck off to run, and I was like, okay, he's going to get him. He's going to spear him. And this is it. Nope. So.
Well, I love the fact that they pulled a shocker on this. I think everyone expected Braun was going to win. Instead, they gave it to Sami, and I loved it. I got to be honest. I thought that was
I did too.
Yeah, that was a great twist. Again, one thing there's a consistent theme that wrestling fans love being surprised, and I think this was definitely a surprise. I think it was a good surprise. This also gives more credit. This also gives more credibility to Sami. And he won clean. So I'm gonna give this match an A+. I loved it every single minute.
I loved it. I think this was like one of my favorites.
I think so
And
too.
I watched it a couple of times. I rewatched it just to make sure I didn't miss anything. But I was like, man, the technique in this was super clean. It was great. Really great storytelling. And even though Braun, he's new, this is like his, like, besides coming out in Rumble, this is like his first like real main event. And I'm like, I thought he did great. And, even though he didn't win, I still think he was put over. Just he looked great.
Yeah, 100%. All right, well, let's also add the segment, the John Cena retirement speech. Here's what's funny about this. Listen, I guess I'm glad that they're doing this because I mean it's well deserved. He was basically retired anyway, so I think that now they're just making it official.
Yeah. I saw that in the scrum where he was like, I'm going to answer any and all questions. And he was like, it was sort of like a mutual decision between him and Triple H and I guess the rest of, creative or whoever is handling that.
Well, yeah, and look, I think the new wave, what's going to happen moving forward is any top superstar, WWE has enough recognition for the top guys, even when whether it's popular or not popular. John Cena's been that guy for so long. We knew once he was transitioning to acting anyway. I mean, wrestling's such a violent sport. You're better off if you can transition to something else. Save your body, absolutely. Realistically, I think someone like Roman Reigns is probably next. Cody may eventually, be as well. I mean, it's one of those things. Listen, hats off to him. You should only do this for so long. It is very dangerous. So hats off to John Cena. Congratulations. I think he was awesome. I mean, I know some people love him, hate him. I thought he was a great entertainer. He was awesome on the mic, always composed. Love the kids, obviously. So I mean, yeah, this is great. But he was basically retired anyway. So I just think it's kind of cool that they're making it official.
Yeah. I knew it was eventually coming, like you said, but based on age and just with him dwindling away back more into Hollywood, which makes more sense. I mean, he wasn't my guy, but he was a great figure for the past 20 plus years. And he was such a professional. And I love everything that he brought to this company.
Absolutely. And I really genuinely hope he kind of turns into something basically what The Rock is doing.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, he'll come back every once in a while, wrestle once a year, maybe a Mania, maybe for a storyline, whatever the case is. I mean, here's what's kind of crazy. I mean, The Rock headlined WrestleMania this year, and 25 years ago, WrestleMania 15, he was also the headliner. So that's really cool. And listen, as long as they can physically still do it, if he can show up maybe once a year or something like that, I think that'd be great. But yeah, the fact that they're giving me an official farewell tour, that's awesome. So
yeah, I don't think he's officially done. I think he's done for the physical part of it, but I think he's still going to show up once in a while and give us a nice surprise.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, so now let's get into Seth Rollins versus Damian Priest, which turned into Drew cashing in for a three-way match. This is where I strongly disagree with a lot of opinions that are out there. I didn't like it. I liked. I mean, well, sorry. What do you think?
I feel like it was a waste.
Yeah, that's 100% what that's. I literally said this is useless. This became useless. There was no purpose for this whatsoever.
And what's funny, you called it. You said, I see, depending on the sequence of how they line up these matches will depend on if, we're going to see Drew, if he does happen to win, is he going to cash in? And that's what you called. And, and then I also called CM Punk screwing him over yet again. Yeah. And it's just, I get it. They're trying to prolong and drag this out, and I see this being a SummerSlam match too, maybe potentially with Drew and Punk. I don't know. I don't know. It was just really disappointing. I just felt like it could have been done better, but it also is that element of surprise where, we didn't see it coming, but we did.
Yeah. So, but here's the thing though. I mean, like, listen, if he's physically cleared to wrestle at SummerSlam, okay. But we don't even know if he is. And if he's not, this is a real waste. And now he basically started an angle with Rollins. So I'm kind of with you. I think it would have actually. And hold on, let's take a brief pause. How about that botch spot with the pin?
Oh, I had to replay that a couple of times because we all knew the ref counted to 3, and there was different things. I read online that it was supposed to be Drew was supposed to come out at 2. And
Yeah.
there was an issue backstage with him coming out, and that's why Damian didn't kick out. And then he obviously pinned him for 3. It was just, and then you saw him like grab his head, like
Absolute chaos. Yeah. To be honest, what would make this right is if Seth Rollins comes out in Raw, shows a replay, counts 3, and then make the championship vacant. I actually think that would be cooler.
that might
Yeah.
be a possibility. You know how quick the writers are to change.
Yeah.
So they could be working overtime today, trying to remap what to do for
Yeah.
tomorrow's Raw.
Absolutely. Well, the other thing too is when, generally speaking, when someone cashes in, they're usually doing it when both men are on the floor, they can't move the whole 9.
Yeah.
Him kind of coming out was just almost like looked like interference. CM Punk obviously got involved, and then Damon retained. Damon got no pop whatsoever. So part of the huge thing for me is crowd reaction. Damien did not get any reaction at all.
Yeah. And I feel like that's just everyone thinks that. Just by looking at social media, a lot of people mention that and they're like, here he comes, another boring title holder. And I hate to say that, but
yeah. Well, the worst thing that can happen to you as a wrestler is if they're not booing you or cheering you. They're just
that's
taking
the issue. That's where you get scared.
Absolutely. You're just taking a sip out of your drink and just hoping for this match to end. When Drew's music hit, that was the biggest pop of the night because there at least there was something going on. Haven't CM Punk. Look, to be honest, like if Drew cashed in and didn't win, fine. But just having Dame, like at least give it back to Seth. I just don't like Drew. I just don't like Damon as a champion. I got to be honest with you.
And you know what? They may end up taking that into consideration on Monday tomorrow and giving Seth that belt.
Yeah.
Most like, I don't know. I can see that happening.
If they do, that would be a great way to kind of redirect it. But yeah, I got to be honest. This match, I'm gonna give a C-. I didn't like the ending at all. I know some people loved it. I didn't like it. I thought it didn't make no sense. I thought it made it absolutely useless. The way they had him cash in just didn't make sense either. They're starting an angle now between Punk and Rollins as well. Unless it's going to be a triple threat match at SummerSlam, what are you doing? I don't. Yeah.
That's what I see is happening is they're leading to SummerSlam. But then I'm like, what else is going to happen?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I hope they surprise us.
Absolutely. But look, and here's the other thing too. Now Damon's going to fight Gunther for the title. Is that entertaining to anyone? Does that sound entertaining to anybody?
Well, no, but I would prefer Gunther to win.
Yeah, at this point, mine as well. Finn Balor didn't show up, so like that. There were again. I can't stand empty storylines. If they're teasing a breakup, why wasn't Finn involved? So now he's not doing anything either. Like I just didn't get it.
I don't know where they're going with this. I was kind of lost, and then I don't know. I just felt like that was such a waste of a cash in if they weren't gonna. And I know what they're doing. They're just creating even more and more angles, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
All right, good stuff. What's your grade? You get like if you had to grade this match, what would you give it?
I would give it something very average because I felt like it was average work. Predictable, a C.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna go C- just because I really didn't like the ending. But I mean, the match was glorified. It's probably one of Damon's better matches, but I just didn't like it overall. So. Yeah. Let's get into the women's Money in the Bank match, which I absolutely loved.
They were phenomenal. I loved them. Yeah. And, our girl won, who we thought Tiffy time. I think everyone called it. Everyone across the board was like, it's going to be Tiffany Stratton. And the girl is amazing. She had a very clean swanton off the top rope. It was great. And, but all the women did great. And I really loved Chelsea. She was so much fun to watch in this, and she took that fall off the ladder. I was, ooh,
and what's cool, and this is another thing we're starting to notice about these Money in the Bank ladder matches is they usually tease the second place, if you want to call it second place, who like second place winner to get in. And Chelsea Green had a spot. And I think everyone was in anticipation. Wait, are they going to pull it off? They didn't, but the timing was perfect, and so they pulled that off perfectly as well.
I thought this was really well done. And again, like the men's Money in the Bank match, the bumps that these girls took.
Oh my
Oh, their
gosh!
backs. And did you see what Zoe did?
Yeah,
That
yeah. Oh,
kind of
I
like
was
tombstoned herself.
yeah,
Um,
seriously. I was kind of cringing myself. I mean, God bless these women. They are tough.
they are tough. And I like to move that Lyra did, hanging off the ladder and
Yeah,
basically like picked up, and she's a smaller girl compared to some of other like the other ones, but I can't remember who it was. Was it Naomi? It was somebody that she picked up and then threw and just used her entire core.
yeah.
And I was like, these girls are insane, but I really loved this match. It was amazing, and I'm glad Tiffany won.
Yeah, me too. I'm giving this. I'm gonna give this another A+. I mean, yeah. So I'm gonna give this match an A+. There's two A+s in this actual event. An event that I didn't like as much as everybody else, but yeah, I'm gonna give that match an A+.
I give it an A. It was great. It was
Yeah.
fun, and yeah, they kicked ass.
All right, cool. All right, now to the 6-man main event. I liked it. It kind of went chalk in my opinion. I had a feeling the Bloodline was going to win because they kind of needed them for credibility purposes. The other thing too, this is kind of like history always repeats itself in wrestling. I'm going to go old school because I've been watching this my entire life. Back in '96, I'm pretty sure it was '96. It was Vader, British Bulldog, and Owen Hart was against Shawn Michaels, Psycho Sid. I want to say Ahmed Johnson. It was a 6-man tag. Vader got a clean pin against Shawn Michaels, and the purpose of that was to set up their match at SummerSlam because he basically said, "Hey, I pinned you, so now I get to fight you." I
Yeah,
think the same thing. So I think Solo's gonna fight Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam.
I
Uh,
can see that coming.
yeah, it makes sense. I mean, all he has to do is say, "Hey, look, I pinned you. I get the right." I you know I know Roman Reigns wasn't a lot like couldn't come obviously with going to his father's funeral. I think a lot of people were potentially expecting that, but
Yeah.
obviously had that's going to take precedent. RIP to his father. I think more than likely, if it's going to be Solo versus Kodo at SummerSlam, I think that's when there's going to be that bloodline split and Roman's going to come out in the whole nine.
Yeah, I can see that happening. We knew that the Bloodline was going to win as much as I did not want them to win
Yeah.
because of my love Randy, but writing it only makes sense for them
Yeah.
to win and as heels and just to build up I guess the new bloodline and give them, like you said, some credibility there and a stronger run. Um, yeah, I can see that happening. I see Roman eventually coming back, and it's going to be, old versus new. We may even
100%.
see The Rock back.
Yeah, and the Usos will
So,
be back with Roman, and they'll just kind of have
yeah,
that kind of going. Yeah, exactly. The Rock interfering would be fun, and like that could be kind of fun. Yeah, it would have served no purpose to have Cody, Randy, and Kevin Owens winning at all. Like at all, it just didn't would have
it
made
wouldn't have
sense.
done anything
Yeah, hundred
for
percent. It would have.
storyline purposes.
Yeah, so made total sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, the match was good. I mean, any particular spots that you liked?
But I thought that they were all really strong. I just feel like it was just one of those matches where it was just not I don't know the right word is showy, but everyone does their finisher and it's like back to back
Yeah,
and I like that. I think it's fun. It gets the crowd going, but it's one of those matches that you expect that, especially with Randy and Cody together.
yeah.
I mean, not anything in particular.
Uh,
No, I thought it was overall really great and strong. I think they all did really well.
I will go ahead and give. If I had to give this a grade, I'll give this match a B.
Yeah, I was about to say it wasn't spectacular, but it was pretty solid, and we
Yeah.
knew the outcome. Yeah, a B.
Yeah, for sure. So overall, I went back and forth with my final grade. I had two A pluses on this. I had that C- with what turned out to be a triple threat match. I'll go ahead and give us a B. Like I didn't. It could have been so much better. It could have straight up just been an A+ all around. I would have like, Money in the Bank pay-per-views are honestly one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Just because like the elements of surprise and like the matches are always great. The actual Money in the Bank ladder matches are great. Overall, I'm gonna go ahead and give it a B overall.
I might give it an A. Reason being, I feel like all of the matches were really great. And like I said, everything flew. So that means it kept my attention and I was super involved. And the fact that they added the twist that we knew was going to happen, but then we didn't know what was going to happen.
Yeah.
And it got everyone talking, which is exactly what they want. It
Yeah.
worked. So I'll give them props on that. So I'm going to give it an A. I thought it was pretty solid.
All right, good stuff. Good stuff. All right, cool. All right, well, that concludes this episode. Please like, share, and subscribe. Our next episode is actually going to be a new series we're going to do every so often. It's called Climb Up, Climb Down. We're basically going to do a ranking system of all the wrestlers of WWE and AEW. So that's going to be a lot of fun. All right, until next time, we will see you later.
Bye, friends.